Once upon a time, in the little town of Daniels on the Rocks, there lived a beauty and a beast.
Oh, I'm not really a beast. Actually, I'm a prince. But I'm all fussed up like this because of witchcraft.
Please. But ugly as he was, he could once again become handsome just by being kissed by a beauty.
Kissed? Oh, so that's the bit. Just get kissed by a... Man, it's not as easy as it sounds.
That was probably the wrong girl anyway. And so, the beast set out to find the beauty whose love would break his magic spell.
How do you do, miss? I'm not really a beast, but a prince. The victim of...
You're no prince.
And you're no beauty either. Boy, that's what I really needed. Hello, you gorgeous thing. I'm not really a beast, but a prince. The victim of... witchcraft! Listen to me. This is a true story. I'm a handsome prince.
Well, an inventive beast knows when to change tactics, and this particular beast knew that it was the smart thing to present his case before presenting his face.
Call me a beast, will you?
Next, the beast posed as an old friend of the family.
Ho, 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 ho. How about a big kiss for sanity?
Well, obviously, it was time to look for another approach. A kissing booth at a fair, for instance. There, the beast would simply buy a kiss for himself, and it just might be the kiss. Then again, it might not.
Maybe I should quit when I'm ahead. If you didn't call this being ahead.
Well, if one can't even buy a kiss, one is forced into devious measures. Something subtle, sophisticated, something ingenious, yet inobvious. Fortunately for the beast, there was a wedding taking place in a nearby garden. A natural. The beast simply had to stand in line with the other guests and kiss the bride.
This is it. I feel more handsome already. I would like to say a few words about... Stop that dancing up there. Another day, another ugly.
But wait, what is this? A fair maid in yon balcony.
Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou?
Up, 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 and away!
The damsel did not do good like a Juliet should. However, not to be discouraged, the beast struck again, this time by air. His takeoff was superb, but we can't say as much for his landing. Jousting was an old favorite sport in fairy story days. After the joust, the winner usually threw a rose to the lady of his choice, who, in return, would reward him with a kiss. This seemed like a perfect opportunity to the beast, so he threw the rose, it was high and a little inside, and made ready to receive his reward. But instead, the next good prospect for a kiss was on the edge of disaster as the beast happened by.
I'll save her. Then she'll kiss me out of gratitude. No, wait, stop. Don't do it. Hold it. Don't be rash. Wait, hold on. I'll save you.
Well, eventually, even a beast gets discouraged.
I'm just a no-good beastnik.
So the next time he met a beauty...
Hello.
Hello? Here, hit me. Go ahead. Shock me good. Say all do.
But the beast can only become a prince again if a beauty kisses him. The real beauty. Black of hair.
Black of hair.
Red of lips.
Red of lips.
Fair of skin.
Fair of... It's her. I mean, you or she. This is the one. Kiss me. Better try again, baby. That one didn't take.
Well, the script says that you turn back into a prince. You really are a prince, aren't you?
Listen, bud. You get kissed your way, I'll get kissed my way.
Many years ago, in a humble but dirty cottage deep in the forest, there lived a dirty but humble mud maker. He labored from sunup to sundown making mud, but was very poor, for then, as now, there weren't many people in the market for mud. When his day was done, he left the mud puddle and returned to the cottage where his wife always met him at the door with a hot meal.
Why must you always throw my dinner at me, dearest? Why cannot we sit and quietly sup like other folk?
Because, good husband, I am unhappy.
How can that be? You've got a fine muddy house, fine muddy food, and fine muddy me.
True, but we have no son to keep me company, and I am lonesome.
So saying, she served dessert and shuffled off to bed. This set the old mud maker to wondering, and he thought to himself,
being a mud maker is bad enough, but being a mud maker with an unhappy wife is too much. I must do something.
Early the next morning, he awoke and quietly stole from the house. Crossing through the woods, he finally came to a tiny house made of cheese, where it was said a good fairy lived.
Well, what do you want, you muddy little old man?
Are you the good fairy?
Of course I'm the good fairy. Why ask a stupid question like that?
Well, it's a little hard to tell.
I suppose you want a favor.
Yes, you see, my wife is unhappy.
Big deal.
But if we could have a son to keep her company...
Okay, I get the picture. With a tap of my wand, I grant your wish.
When his head cleared, the old man thanked the good fairy.
Thanks, I think.
And staggered home as fast as he could.
You'll never guess what happened while you were away.
The house burned down.
No, I found a baby boy on the doorstep.
Hooray, it worked. Where is he?
I put him to Thimble.
You mean you put him to bed?
No, I put him to Thimble. Look.
Say.
And there, on the table, inside a thimble, slept the tiny son.
But he's so little.
Yes, but he's all ours, and he will grow.
30 years later.
But he's so little.
Why don't you go back to the good fairy and see if she'll give you something to make him grow?
Sure, I can make him grow. Take this magic chickpea and put it under his bed.
Thimble.
Put it under his thimble, then.
The mud maker followed the good fairy's instructions to a P, and sure enough, within 24 hours...
Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. Down there.
Good heavens, he's 7 feet tall.
And so is his stomach.
So they called him Thom Tum, and needless to say, the boy lived up to his name.
More food. I'm hungry, hungry, hungry. Eat. Oh, keep it coming, Mama, honey.
It wasn't long before Thom had eaten all there was in the house. Then he set off through the woods, gobbling up everything in his path.
Good grief, I better get back to the good fairy and see what she can do about this.
But when he found us...
Say, good fairy, Hey, what happened to your little house made of cheese?
Oh, some big fat kid ate it and then ran off down the road yelling, food, food!
That's what I wanted to ask you about.
If I ever find out who that brat's father is, I'll turn him into a toad. What was it you wanted to ask me?
You think it'll rain?
No.
Me either. See ya.
Now, it so happened that this was the king's birthday, and among the many fine presents he received was a beautiful fat duck.
Perhaps it is an enchanted duck, Your Highness.
You mean if I kiss it, it'll turn into a keen princess?
Could be, but I was thinking more like maybe it lays golden eggs.
They weren't golden, but they most certainly were eggs. The duck laid eggs by the dozens, the hundreds, the thousands. It seemed as though the duck would never stop, which she didn't. And before long, the castle was filled to overflowing with eggs. Desperate, the king sent out a proclamation.
Hear ye, hear ye! The king offers 1,000 Pazuzu reward to anyone who can rid the castle of eggs!
Hearing this gave the old mud maker an answer to his problem, and he hurried to the king.
You say that you'll give me your boy, Thom Tum, and he'll get rid of the eggs.
Yes, sir, sire.
Good, then here's your money. Now give me the boy.
Okay, dear, turn him loose.
Thom ate like he never had before. Eggs disappeared as if by magic. He ate them scrambled, fried, boiled, raw. Then he ate the duck. Tables vanished, chairs were missing, huge holes were chewed in the walls.
Oh, we're lost!
And calling for his fastest horse, the king sped to the cottage of the mud maker.
You gotta take him back, or we'll all starve.
I couldn't be an Indian giver, sire.
Oh, humor me. I'm the king.
Sorry.
Well, take him back, and I'll give you a kingdom of your very own.
We'll take it.
Dearest, what can you be thinking?
There, Wallace. I have a plan.
And so it was settled. Thom Tum was returned to the old mud maker, and he in turn was given a kingdom in a far-off land. His wife solved their problem of Thom by feeding him mud pies, which, as we all know, is enough to kill anyone's appetite. And to make certain that they would never be troubled again, no food was allowed in the kingdom. The people were always famished. So the tiny country was called Hungary, and they all lived happily ever after. Once upon a timeless night, a miller who lived in a cottage deep in the woods made a sudden discovery.
Who are you?
I am your daughter, dear Daddy Miller.
A day or so later, the miller was again astounded.
And who are you?
I'm your other daughter, dear Father Miller.
Yes, the miller had been so busy with his mill that he'd failed to notice his two little girls had grown up. They were named Slow White and Nose Red, and for a very good reason.
Is that the bucket of water I asked you to fetch last summer, Slow White?
Indeed it is.
Well, it's frozen over. Oh, my, but you're slow.
As for Nose Red, she had an irresistible hunger for apples, and after consuming an orchardful, her nose turned red.
Is that a basket full of apples you have there, Daddy?
My, but you're nosy.
The girls, despite their shortcomings, were as sweet and gentle as the days were long.
Oh, look at that poor bear sleeping in the mud.
Let us take him home and give him sucker.
You mean a lollipop?
No, some aid and comfort.
Don't bother to fix my dinner, children. I've been working hard down by the old mill stream, and I'm too tired to eat or sing it.
We may be as sweet and gentle as the days are long, but we forgot to tell Father we put the bear in his bed.
Well, he likes surprises.
Not this one, he didn't. That night, the miller slept in the mud, and at breakfast the following morning.
Daddy, that mud did wonders for you.
Yes, your acne is completely gone.
So is my sense of humor.
Daddy seems upset about something.
Maybe it's the mud.
It took a bit of doing, but the miller eventually became adjusted to his daughter's unconventional habits. That is, until one day...
Slow and Nose, you have made a lifelong friend out of every animal in the forest, and in the 11 western states, too, I might add. Each day they come to our door for food, and you give it to them. They've been doing this for 3 years, and now we're broke.
But we must continue to feed the poor creatures.
What with? We're out of food.
Well, how about giving them sucker?
Well, we're out of them, too, even though there is one born every minute. I'll tell you what. I'll make you a package deal. You girls get married, send me money, and I'll see to it the animals are fed.
That's a wonderful idea, dear Daddy Miller.
Without any further ado, Slow White and Nose Red set off for the nearby village. But although the village was only a half a mile away, it took them a year and a half to get there, due to the fact that Slow White was so slow and Nose Red climbed every apple tree they passed. Then, too, the lights were against them. Everything worked out for the best, however, for when they did arrive, the annual bachelor's ball was in progress.
Do my eyes deceive me? Look at those two stunning creatures.
Gad, they're beautiful.
How true. The most beautiful girls at the dance.
They were the most beautiful girls at the dance, mainly because they were the only girls at the dance.
Pardon us, fair maidens. But would you care to trip the light fantastic?
We'd rather dance.
You have to give the girls credit. At least they tried, but in vain, for although Nose Red was light on her feet, the light of her red nose blinded her partner, causing them to crash into the wall. Slow White, on the other hand, was slower than usual, and by the time she lifted her foot to take the first step, the music was over, and so was the ball.
Don't cry, Slow White. We'll find husbands.
That's not why I'm crying. You're standing on my foot.
But luck was with them, for the very next day was the day of the annual bachelor's picnic. Just as before, they were the most attractive girls at the gathering, and for the same reason as before.
I shall do the cooking.
Slow White turned on the gas stove and struck the match 45 minutes later.
Well, your troubles are over. Go to this address. Inside the cottage, you will meet two brothers who are your perfect match.
Oh, Mr. Marriage Counselor Hacken, we thank you.
With money.
Snow White and Nose Red scuttled off, their miller's daughter's hearts beating in wild anticipation.
I hope this doesn't turn out to be another fiasco.
You'll be happy to know that everything turned out perfectly. For you see, Slow White knocked on the door of the cottage, and it didn't open until 2 years later.
Oh, my, but you're slow.
And you, fair maiden, are my true love.
Yes, Snow White had met someone even slower than she. And Nose Red, well, the other brother was a strapping, handsome brute. He had one slight blemish, a green nose.
I'm Irish, you know.
Oh, this too was a dream match, for when you get a green nose and a red nose, well, it's Christmas every day. Snow White and Nose Red lived happily ever after. I wish I could say the same for their father.
I'm not a father, actually. I'm a mother.
There was once an old shoemaker who was very poor. For though he had worked very hard making shoes for over 30 years, he had never sold a single pair.
Either I'm in the wrong business or the location of my shop is wrong.
Reasoning that it couldn't be the wrong business.
Well, I hate to leave this spot. No competition, you know. But maybe if I moved into the village where the people are, I'd sell some shoes.
His mind made up, the old man went ahead with the move, which was quite a simple matter, a slight push, and in no time at all, he was in the village below, ready for business.
Don't laugh. It beats walking, I think.
On that very day, the king, who was very fond of walking in the woods, was on his daily outing when he chanced to pass the shoemaker's small shop. Looking down at his shoes, he remarked to himself,
It looks as if the royal feet might use a new pair of shoes.
and so saying, he entered the shop.
Who are you?
Drat it, man, I'm a royal customer.
Royal customer, what's that?
I came in here to buy a pair of shoes.
Oh, forgive me, sire. It's been so long I've forgotten.
The king tried on a pair of shoes to his liking, paid the old shoemaker, and was off for his hike in the woods. The little man was delighted and was certain that now he was on his way to making his fortune. However, several hours later, the king again entered the shop, and he was purple with rage.
What kind of shoes did you sell me?
Beats me. Oxfords, I think.
Look at my feet.
Oops. I got off on the wrong foot.
Declaring that he was a menace to the feet of the kingdom, the king ordered the shoemaker to get rid of all of his shoes and never make another pair under threat of losing his head.
And I shall check every day to make sure that you do as I say.
Oh, dear, the old man was terrified, and he quickly set about the task of getting rid of all of his shoes. All day he dug a big hole, and it wasn't until that evening that he had buried every last one.
Thank goodness. Now, when a king checks tomorrow, I'll be safe.
Completely exhausted, he fell into bed and went sound asleep. Late that night, as they always do, elves came out to dance and skip through the kingdom looking for quaint things to do. They finally came to the shoemaker's shop and peeked in the window.
Oh, look, a shoemaker.
He must be very poor. See, he has no shoes in there to sell.
Then come, we shall fill his shop with shoes.
So, for the rest of the night, the little elves worked making shoes, hundreds of shoes. Early the next morning, when the old man awoke, he could not believe his eyes.
Oh, no. Where did all these shoes come from?
Knowing that the king was due to arrive at any moment, he did the only thing he could think to do on such short notice and quickly painted a sign.
So you've gone into the bagel business, have you? And you've baked them into the shape of shoes? Oh, what a novel idea. It tastes like an old shoe.
Funny you should say that.
I order you never to bake another bagel, or...
I know, sire. Don't say it.
The king stormed off for his castle, and once more the old shoemaker spent the day digging a hole and burying the shoes. Then, late that night...
Oh, look, the shoes are gone.
He must have sold them all.
Let's make more so we can be happy again.
And the little elves went to work making shoes by the score. In the next room, the old shoemaker was unable to sleep because of worry.
I still can't figure out where all those shoes came from.
When suddenly, he heard the sound of tiny hammers in his workshop. Upon investigating, he was shocked to find the elves hard at work and the room again full of shoes.
So, you're the wise guys.
See all of the shoes we've made?
I'll bet you're pleased.
Out! Out! Out!
Well, in all my years of being an elf, I've never seen anything like that.
He must not have read the book.
For the rest of the night, the old man desperately dug holes and buried shoes, but in the morning, when the king arrived, he found one left shoe that the shoemaker had overlooked.
So, a shoe! I'm cooked.
Then the king happened to notice that the shoe was like none that he'd ever seen before. The workmanship was perfect, and he tried it on.
Oh, my, now, this is fine. Bring the mate of the shoe to the castle in 1 hour, and I shall make you my royal cobbler.
The little shoemaker happily dug up all the shoes he had buried, but then made a horrible discovery, for every shoe the elves had made was a left shoe.
Oh, never mind, shoemaker. Forget it. It feels so good, I think I'll just keep it this way.
And from that day forward, the king took his walks wearing only a left shoe. Before long, it became a fad, and there was a great demand by all of the people in the kingdom to buy one left shoe. The old shoemaker sold all he had, and of course became very rich, which only proves what the old man had always said, which is...
There's no business like shoe business.
Once upon a time, in a little pond in the Middle West, lived an ugly duckling who wanted to be a movie star.
I ought to be in pictures. Da-da-da-da-da.
He was the star of his local dramatic club, and he was written up in his hometown newspaper for his acting in Cyrano de Duckerac, Hamlet, the Melancholy Duck, and Duck of a Salesman. But this kind of fame meant nothing to him. He wanted to be a movie star.
I'm just ripe for some lucky scout to discover.
So the ugly duckling left his little pond and journeyed far away to a place where all the big talent scouts came to scout talent. A place called Schwab's Swamp. All around him were pictures of the ducks who had been discovered there.
Duck Benny, Duck Jones, Duck Rogers. Gee, even Duck Tracy.
And sure enough, talent scouts were discovering ducks all around him.
Hey, you.
Me?
No, him. Sign here.
Hey, handsome.
Yes?
Not you, ugly, him. Will 1,000 a week be enough?
But alas, nobody wanted to discover the ugly duckling.
Ugly? Gosh, looks like I'm a has-been before I was even a was.
My, for a duck, you are certainly a silly goose.
What do you mean?
You can't just sit there and wait for them. Make them discover you.
By golly, I'd do it.
Soon, the ugly duckling was standing before one of the biggest producers in town, J.B. Hogfat himself.
Now get this, J.B. Don't you see, Captain? There's no time now. We're thinking of women and children. You're the only one who can get through safely. Go. Take the last boat. I will stay and keep the ship off the rocks. Don't think of me. I've lived my life. Think of the children.
Magnificent. Oh, you're a great actor, Duck.
Then I get a contract?
Of course not. You're ugly as a mud fence, but you were superb.
Yeah, that figures.
The ugly duckling tried and tried.
Now, my little pigeon, come with me to this swamp.
No.
In its dark, mysterious byways, you will come to know the ways of love, l'amour.
Doc, you are greatest lover in world.
But,
You ugly.
no soap.
No soap.
Still, the duckling didn't give up.
Such grace, such rhythm. Another Astaire, a new Gene Kelly.
But I'm too ugly for a contract, eh?
Oh, much too.
Thought so.
And it was the same story with everyone he saw.
Gracious, you are an ugly one.
Cab, please.
Yes, Ugg. Yes,
Hey, mister,
Yes?
how come you're so ugly?
All right, I get the idea.
Broken-hearted, the duck returned to Schwab's Swamp.
It's no use. I got a face that would stop a clock, even an electric clock.
Oh, you silly goose. You give up so easily. Haven't you ever heard of facelifting?
I don't want it higher. I want it prettier.
Then go to a plastic surgeon. Get your beak bobbed, your feathers lifted. Get handsome.
Yes, I'll do it.
So, several weeks later, at the hospital...
I have good news for you, my boy. Today the bandages come off.
Hurry, Doc. I've got to know.
See, you're lovely.
It's true. You are good looking.
It was true. The doctor had done the trick. Without wasting a minute, the handsome duckling dashed back to the producer's office.
Well, here I am, J.B. Just slip the contract under here. I'll just sign it. I won't even read it.
What do you talk? I won't give you a contract.
Why?
You're too blame good looking.
Two?
Well, it seemed as if the trend in movie making had switched to horror pictures. The thing in the duck pond. It ducked from outer space. Ugly duck meets wolfman.
Sorry, Bud, I can't use any good lookers. Excuse me. Hello, Myron. Yeah, me too. But there was a duck here last week who'd be perfect for the pond.
Me. It was me.
Face like 3 days of bad weather.
My face.
I told you once, no more pretty boys. Now, Myron, if he shows up again, I'll make a star out of him.
And so the little duckling realized that he had left his real happiness back in that little pond in the middle... Hey, now, wait a minute. You're not going back.
Of course not. I'm just starting my new job. Okay, you guys, let her go.
But why are you...
I figure in a week I'll be ugly enough to scare anybody. But meanwhile, I'm still in show business.
Once upon a time, in a large forest, there lived a woodchopper, his wife, and their 2 children, Hansel and Gretel. It was a beautiful forest full of trees, flowers, butterflies, and streams. Matter of fact, there was just one thing missing.
Food. I must have food.
Food? Food isn't everything, dear.
No, but it's something.
But we have the trees, the flowers, the butterflies, the streams. What more could a body want?
A square meal, that's what.
Okay, spoil sport.
Now, you might think that in a forest as big as this one, the woodchopper would be able to bring back some game for the table. But a curious thing happened to him when he went out. He just couldn't pass a tree without chopping it down.
Well, I mean, after all, a woodchopper is to chop wood.
So, each night, the woodchopper would come home with lots of logs, but no food.
And what good are logs? You can't eat them.
Who says? Yummy. Anyone for roast leg of log?
I think we better split and get some food, Hansel.
Yeah, looks like Mom's a little kooky.
Kooky? I wish I had a kooky.
So, taking a few precious grains of parched corn, the children set out for the forest. Hours later, Gretel began to worry.
When we found food, how do we find our way back?
Easy. Remember those grains of parched corn? Well, I've been leaving them as a trail so we can find our way home. Some neat plan, huh?
That plan is for the birds.
And so it was. The birds had eaten all the corn. Hopelessly lost, the children wandered about until Hansel suddenly bumped into something. Something that wasn't a tree.
Watch your step, stupid. You bumped right into that gingerbread house.
Gingerbread house?
Oh, isn't it cunning?
Cunning?
It looks good enough to eat. Have a piece of shutter.
I'm more of a shingle and doorman myself.
And in a few minutes, Hansel and Gretel had eaten a big hole in the little house. Then, suddenly...
Nibble, nibble like a mouse. Who is nibbling at my house?
There's always a catch. You're a wicked witch, aren't you?
Well, yes.
And you got all kinds of magic powers, true?
Well, no.
You can't breathe fire and smoke?
Nope. I just get dizzy.
You can't summon up demons?
I don't know. Hey, you demons!
You got no magic powers at all?
Well, there is one thing I'm pretty good at. Turning children into aardvarks.
Yeah, at that you're pretty good.
But I don't really care much for aardvarks.
Then why do you keep changing children into them?
Because I care even less for children. Besides, I have the witch's tradition to uphold.
Isn't there something you'd rather do?
Oh, sure. I'd like to know how to ride a broomstick. Vroom, boy. But what's the use? I'll never get off the ground.
If I show you how to ride a broomstick, will you change Hansel back again?
Of course. But you aren't even a witch.
Oh, come now. There's a little bit of the witch in all of us girls. Give me the broom. Now, you take this broom.
Yeah.
And you twirl it all around.
Yeah.
Now you put it on the ground.
Oh, yeah.
And you sit right down.
Yeah.
Now you tell that broom.
Boom, boom, boom.
Fly around the room.
And sure enough, Gretel began to fly.
Now me.
But unfortunately, the witch hadn't asked how to turn the broom off. So, once she started it, she had to keep on going. And in a little while, she was in orbit around the Earth, where she remained to this day. But she did keep her word, for as soon as she had gone, Hansel turned back into himself. And so did aardvarks all over the world. In fact, aardvarks might have become extinct if it weren't for the fact that some aardvarks decided that they'd be happier remaining aardvarks. At any rate, Hansel and Gretel packed up the rest of the witch's house and started off. Of course, since they were in a magic forest, they soon came upon a huge talking duck.
Oh, Duck, would you tell us the way back to our cottage?
Je ne comprends pas.
Yes, unfortunately, this was a French talking duck. But he indicated that the children were to get on his back, and down the river they went. After a long while, the duck said,
Et voilà, nous avons arrivé.
Which is French for end of the line.
Oh, joy! Home again!
For there, sitting on a log, was their father, not with his axe, but with a musket.
Father, why aren't you chopping down trees?
Well, Gretel, I finally decided that all that glitters is not trees. You can't buy happiness with trees. Besides, I've chopped them all down. Now it's hunting. Hunting is the only thing.
So, from that day on, Hansel and Gretel had plenty of food, and their mother never went hungry again.
You know, sometimes I wish he'd stuck to his wood chopping.
Many years ago, there was a year that was a mighty bad year for witches. They were everywhere. Big ones, little ones, ugly ones, and uglier ones. In fact, there were so many that there just weren't enough people to go round to cast spells upon.
Let go! I want to put him to sleep for 100 years. You let go. I'm going to change him into a chicken. But I saw him first. You did not.
It got so bad that even the witches couldn't tell which witch was which. Then one day, as a little witch was searching the forest for a victim...
If I don't find somebody to cast a spell on pretty soon, I'll...
Then suddenly, the witch saw a little frog sitting on a log near a pond.
Well, what have we here?
We have a frog. What have we there?
I'm a witch.
That figures.
And I'm going to cast a spell on you.
Oh, come now. I'm already a frog. What else could you do to me?
But the witch was desperate, and with a wave of her hand, she changed the frog into a handsome young prince.
Oh, boy, that felt good.
Hey, what's the big idea? I don't want to be a handsome prince. I was happy as a frog.
Well, I admit it isn't the kind of a spell we usually cast, but times are hard. Ta-ta, dearie.
The young prince went back to the log and squatted down where he used to sit as a frog and dreamed of catching flies, but somehow it just wasn't the same. He even tried a few croaks.
Me. Chug-a-rump, chug-a-rump.
But it was no use. He knew that if he was ever to be happy again, he must find the witch and make her change him back into a frog.
Well, it's like they say. You can take the frog out of the pond, but you can't take the pond out of the frog.
So the young man set off in search of the witch, and after several hours of stumbling through the woods, he stumbled into a castle. This particular castle was owned by a king who had a very beautiful but unmarried daughter.
Why don't you get a husband?
They're all frogs or something these days.
This young man who just walked through our wall doesn't look like a frog.
Oh, are you a handsome young prince?
No, I'm a handsome young frog.
See?
No. The boy is just a little mixed up. What he needs is a wife, say, like you.
So, despite the young prince's protests, they were married. They were very happy and had everything except a home.
But, dearest, do all brides have to live in a pond?
They do if their husband is a frog, and where are those flies I asked you to catch me?
But if I don't get a real house of my own pretty soon, I'll just die.
The young frog prince finally gave in and built her a beautiful cottage. Then one day, when he was in the yard casing a June bug, a witch came by.
Oh, goody. A handsome young prince. Probably the last one left in the kingdom, and he's all mine. I'll change him into a
Frog?
Good idea. A frog it will be.
That night, at the dinner table...
You know, honey, you've insisted that you're a frog for so long that you're even beginning to look like one.
But I keep telling you I am a frog, and if we don't move back to the pond, I'll just die.
Just then, the little witch who had originally cast a spell upon him came by and was amazed to see that he'd returned to a frog.
Mighty strange. Usually when I prince 'em, they stay princed. Well, I'll try again.
Only this time, he was changed into a chicken.
Well, that did it.
And deciding that it was time to call a halt to such nonsense, he angrily stormed into the witches' union where he confronted the head witch.
Now look, first I was a frog, then a prince, and now I'm a chicken. I've had enough Kings's X.
Okay, I'll change you back to whatever you say. What would you like to be?
Be a prince, honey.
Yeah, a prince.
So be it. Here, Prince. Nice prince.
Not that kind of a prince.
Oh, sorry.
But try as she would, the old witch couldn't change him into a prince, so she finally returned him to a frog.
Whew. I'm sorry, dearie, but you've been bewitched so much that I just can't make a prince out of you.
The poor frog was confused and very sad. He turned to his wife and said,
"Will you still love me even though I'm just a frog?"
Well... Chug-a-rumph. Yes.
And with that, they both hopped back to the pond where they sat on a mossy rock and exclaimed,
If we have to stay frogs for the rest of our lives, we'll just die.
Of course, they didn't die, but you can rest assured that they croaked every night. Once upon a time, in a castle high on a hill, lived a rather peculiar king and his beautiful but unmarried daughter. The knights of the kingdom were always seeking the daughter's hand in marriage, which annoyed the king very much. So he consulted with the royal contractor and ordered him to build a mountain of glass. That's right, smooth, shiny glass. Then, with a derrick, he had his daughter hoisted carefully into the air and placed on top of the glass fountain with a golden apple in her hand. Any suitor who could get to the top would gain the hand of the princess and the golden apple. But, let's face it, that was going to be a pretty impossible thing to do. But our story is about an enchanted frog, remember? This frog's name was Filbert, and he lived with his mother and brother, Frank, in the forest. Every evening, all the animals would come to hear the frogs sing their song.
There's a little other frog in all of us, in all of us, in all of us. There's a little other frog in all of us, no matter who you be.
My, they were a very happy family, until one day when Filbert started to grow. He grew, and he grew, and he grew, until he was the world's only 5-foot 8-inch frog.
But this means I'm not a frog at all, but an enchanted prince. I'm just afraid you'll have to carry on as a duet instead of a trio. For I must seek my fortune in the outside world. You do understand, don't you, Mama? I am an enchanted prince.
You're a big, fat frog who has grown too big for his pond. That's what you are. It's a frog-eat-frog existence in the outside world, Filbert.
Oh, what do you know about it, Mama? After all, you're just a frog. You don't understand royalty.
And so Filbert made his way to the outside world.
Pardon me.
Oh, my goodness. A 5'8" frog.
But I'm not a frog. I'm an enchanted prince. Just because I'm green all over and...
And so, with a brand new suit of clothes, Filbert continued on his way. All this time, the princess had been sitting patiently at the top of a mountain of glass. She still had plenty of suitors, but the mountain was as slippery as ice, remember? And getting to the top was a difficult task indeed. In fact, there were those who claimed it was well-nigh impossible. Still, a princess and a golden apple aren't to be sneezed at, so the suitors kept on trying. But they really weren't very good at it.
That king is a nut. It just can't be done.
Oh, I don't know.
Who are you, stranger? And what are you hiding with that false face?
This isn't a false face. It's my face.
Nonsense. You're up to something. After him, men!
And the knights chased Filbert around the mountain, first clockwise, then counterclockwise, then both ways at once. There was nowhere to go but up. So up Filbert went.
Oh, brave prince, at last you've come. Now I can leave this cold mountain of glass. Remove your false face so that I might see the hero who rescued me. What's that on with, glue?
But, fair lady, this is my real face.
It is?
Mm-hmm.
My father's a nut. He has me sit up here in all kinds of weather, waiting for what? Some frog-faced knight. You can have the golden apple, but I'm leaving.
And the princess leaped off the mountain of glass and fell directly into the arms of the royal contractor who'd been waiting for just this chance. The happy pair ran off to get married. When the king saw what had happened, he was furious. Not only had a mere frog conquered his mountain of glass, but his daughter had run off with a commoner.
I want that frog shot at sunrise.
Uh-oh.
So poor Filbert was sent to the king's dungeon to await the firing squad.
Oh, dear, this is a frog-eat-frog world.
He thought of those happy days when he was just a plain frog, sitting in the sun, playing, singing, jumping.
Jumping! That's it!
The next morning, at sunrise, Filbert was led out to the wall.
Ready! Aim! Fire! By George, men, we obliterated him. There's nothing left of him but his blinking clothes.
Meanwhile, back at the forest, Filbert's mother and brother were waiting sadly. Suddenly, they heard a familiar sound that came closer and closer.
That's Filbert!
Hiya, Mom!
So, Filbert found it was really better to be a big frog in a small pond than a small frog on a big mountain. And besides, who can eat golden apples? There was once an old fisherman who, in over 40 years of fishing, never caught a fish. Because of this, he was forced to live with his wife in a miserable little hovel close by the sea. But though they were very, very poor, he was very, very happy. But being so very, very poor made his wife very, very unhappy.
No money, no food, no nothing. just a kooky husband.
Then, one day, as the fisherman sat mending his nets,
Oh, alas, poor husband, you must surely be addle-headed.
Why do you say that?
Why else would you be so happy when we're so poor?
Yeah, it does seem kind of silly, doesn't it? But you just wait. Someday I'm going to catch a fish, and then things will be different.
the old fisherman didn't know it then, but things were to be very different very soon. For the next day, when he hauled in his net,
Wow, I finally did it. I caught a fish. I caught a fish.
yes, it was a fine, big fish, and a most unusual fish, to say the least, for it spoke to him.
How do you do?
Oh, hello there. You know, you're the very first fish I ever... What'd you say?
I said, how do you do?
Oh, come on. You can't say that.
Why not?
Well, because fish can't talk. That's why.
But I can, and I'm asking you, please, let me go.
The fish pleaded so hard, and the fisherman was so shocked at hearing the fish talk that he did let him go. Then that evening, when he returned to his hovel,
Catch any fish?
Yeah? Nice big fat one. But I let him go.
Let him go. Why?
He asked me to.
Oh, well, as long as he... What? The fish asked you to let him go.
Yeah.
certain now that her poor husband was more addle-headed than ever, the wife wrapped hot towels around the fisherman's head and gave him a bitter medicine that was guaranteed to clear even the most clouded mind.
Oh, a talking fish indeed.
Look, he did talk to me, and I can prove it.
Early the next morning, the fisherman returned to the spot where he had caught the fish and called out loudly,
"Talking fishy in the sea. Please come up and talk to me."
With that, the big fish returned to the surface and said,
"You called?"
"Yeah, my wife thinks I'm addle-headed because I heard you talk. Please come home with me so I can prove you do."
"Very well. You did me a favor, so I shall return it. Let's go."
The fisherman quickly took the fish back to his hovel, but his wife was nowhere to be seen. So he put the fish into their bed to keep him warm and set off in search of her. A short time later, the wife, who had been out collecting seashells by the seashore, returned, and seeing what she thought to be her husband in the bed...
Lazy lout, what are you doing in bed? You should be out fishing.
I beg your pardon, madam, but I am not your husband. I am really...
A talking fish.
That is correct, madam.
Eek!
The poor woman's hair stood on end. Then, 2 hours later, when the fisherman finally coaxed his wife down off of the roof...
Yeah, now you see, dear, the fish did talk.
Okay, but get him out of here.
Ah, but the fish, who, of course, had never been in a soft, warm bed before, liked it so much that he said...
"Oh, please don't throw me back into that cold, old ocean. Let me stay."
No, I refuse to have a talking fish in my bed.
"Oh, let me stay. I will grant you 3 wishes.
Oh, boy, 3 wishes. Hey, that could make us rich.
The wife was delighted at the prospect of being rich and agreed to let the fish stay. Then they set about the task of making their first wish.
Now, a talking fish is something you don't see every day. So, why don't we wish for a big theater so we can make people pay to hear him?
So be it, number 1.
The wish was granted, and they suddenly found themselves owners of the largest theater in the village.
Now what?
That's easy. Now we've got to wish for lots of tickets to sell.
So be it, number 2.
The wish was granted, and they now had thousands of tickets. Everyone in the country wanted to hear the talking fish, so in no time at all, every ticket was sold.
Oh, boy, look at the money. Oh, we're rich at last. We still have another wish coming, so let's use it.
For what?
Who cares? Anything.
No, we better save it.
He's right. After all, it is your last wish.
Now, you stay out of this. Let's use it.
Save it.
But I think...
Use it.
Save it.
Use it. Oh, I wish you'd shut up.
So be it, number 3.
Oops, I goofed.
The third and last wish was granted, and the fish was never to speak again. Of course, the audience demanded their money back, and the fisherman and his wife were run out of town as frauds. Poor, once again, they returned to their hovel, where several days later, a strange thing happened. For a small cat wearing boots approached them, and,
Howdy!
That cat! It talked!
Right. You see, I'm...
But before the little cat in the boots could continue, the fisherman and his wife tied a gag around his mouth, and he could not say another word. Which is just as well, dear friends, for Puss in Boots is another story. Once upon a time, there was an easel painter. He was a good painter and made a modest living for his wife and himself. All was well except for one thing. The painter didn't want to be a painter. He wanted to be a shoemaker.
I am drudging my way through life. I want to do something creative.
Such as?
Who are you?
We're elves, obviously. We always considered painting creative.
You call that creative, elves? I'll tell you creative. Making shoes, that's creative. Something for the feet. Something that lives. Something to last throughout eternity. Shoes that sing.
You mean you want to go down in history like Herman Cappuccino?
Herman Cappuccino?
Herman Cappuccino, just the greatest little shoemaker that ever lived.
When Hannibal crossed the Alps, whose shoes do you think he was wearing?
Herman's?
Herman Cappuccino.
Ooh. Tell me, elf, how could I be a famous shoemaker like Herman Cappuccino?
You gotta suffer. You gotta spend time on the left bank in Paris.
Study. Visit the shoe stores.
And all true shoemakers gotta suffer.
And so, that night, the painter told his wife of his plan to become a shoemaker. His wife said,
Shoemakers are not made, they are born. Why don't you forget it and go back to something sensible like painting?
9. Even 10. Anybody can paint. I want to sit in cafes, discuss shoe exhibitions, make shoes in a gallop, and above all, suffer.
So, the painter left for Paris, leaving his wife to shift for herself. He entered the famous school, Le Beau Chasseur, and spent months working for models. Then he made 15th century shoes, 16th century shoes, 17th century shoes, 18th century shoes. He made rabbit shoes, snake shoes, and kangaroo shoes. He even made high button shoes, low button shoes, even horseshoes. He made walking shoes, running shoes, sneaky shoes, squeaky shoes, but alas, he made no singing shoes.
If only I could make a shoe that sings of spring, of love. How could I make a shoe with a soul?
You gotta travel. Absorb different countries' culture.
Yes, suffer.
Not suffer, travel. Get with it, will you?
Yeah, that's it, travel.
So the painter went to Italy, Switzerland, Holland, and he made Italian shoes, Swiss shoes, Dutch shoes. But alas, he made no singing shoes. Then, one night, after he returned to Paris, he heard the most beautiful music. He followed the lovely sound, and there, in a bundle of rags, was a singing shoe.
That is truly a shoe with a soul.
Well, what? I hope to tell you it's got a soul.
I must have that shoe.
Now, wait.
A fine way to act.
I just wanted to know where he bought them.
We could have told you that. He bought them in Elvesville.
Elvesville? Why, that's my hometown. What am I doing suffering around Europe when I could be home learning to make shoes that sing?
So, the painter left for the town from whence he had come, Elvesville. He found that everyone in Elvesville was wearing the same exquisite shoes that he had found in the bundle of rags.
Where did you buy those exquisite shoes?
2311 South Budlaw. You turn left at the
You
next...
don't have to tell me. That's my house.
And sure enough, when the painter got home, he found the walls of his cottage lined with exquisite shoes, all singing merrily away. And who did he find sitting behind the cobbler's bench but his wife?
Why didn't you tell me you made exquisite singing shoes?
You never asked me.
So, from that day on, the painter went back to his easel. Eventually, it happened that his paintings started selling like hotcakes, and he became a very famous painter indeed. And his paintings hung in all the famous museums in Europe. But he never did become a shoemaker, and he had to be content with just being a very wealthy man.
Which just goes to prove everybody can't be a Herman Cappuccino.
Yeah. Whatever that means.